Welcome to The Author's Journey with #1 international best-selling author and in-demand publisher, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. Today, we'll showcase the works of an amazing best-selling author, find out the story behind their book, and explore ways to bring your message powerfully forward. Now, here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone, to The Author's Journey. Excited to have you joining us today, where we talk with best-selling authors, and they pull back the curtain and share what it's really like. Really like to bring a book forward. Maybe things they discovered that were empowering and powerful, perhaps things they learned or surprised them along the way. And they're leaning in to share their journey with you to empower you on yours. So whether you are an avid reader that just loves to know more of what it's really like and know the authors better, this is going to be a great conversation. Or perhaps you are a writer yourself looking to bring your book forward, you're going to find some great tips and insights in our conversation today. And I love our guest. I know you're going to enjoy her heart, her spirit, her gift, and how she uses language and puts it together. I think you're really going to appreciate that as our conversation continues. And she's even prepared a little bit of a reading, so you get a little bit of the flavor and flow of her style and her heartbeat and what she was able to bring to the world. So very excited. It's my pleasure to introduce our guest. But before we do so, I want to take a breath and make sure we're fully present. So let's take a breath in through the nose, all the way to our toes, and then out through your mouth, like through a straw. I want to make sure each of you keep taking breaths. Take another beautiful breath. I want to make sure each of you have plenty of oxygen in your system today. When we take those breaths, we become mindfully, purposely present. It helps us lower our stress levels. Breathe out what no longer serves, in what does. And it creates room and space for us. And this is your time. You have said yes to coming together, to being still for a moment while you're getting poured into. And I want you to receive everything that's here today. And some of that starts by choosing to be present, choosing to breathe, to be open to receive, because there's something here for you by the very nature of you tuning in. So I'm excited for you to lean in and see what it is, see what comes to you, what speaks to you. I encourage you, for those of you who like to dial things up, extra credit bonus opportunities, get a piece of paper and a pen, or a notebook and a pen, a journal and a pen, something that you can write down those insights that come to you, the aha moments. And it might be something our amazing guest Tiffani shares, or something I share, or something in between the pauses when you feel in that bubbles up within you that's inspired by the conversation today. And I want you to capture that. So have your paper ready, your pen ready for all those amazing downloads, insights, uploads, things that come in to serve and support you on your daily journey, in your reading journey, and in your writing journey. So with that, it's with great pleasure I get to introduce our amazing guest, Tiffani Jean Freckleton. She lives in Salt Lake City, Utah. After many years as a registered nurse, she discovered, I'm having everyone lean in, the best kept secret in healthcare, the NICU unit, the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit. She was so inspired by the NICU that she was led to create her own beautiful, powerful book. It became a #1 international bestseller. It actually hit 29 best-selling categories and ranked #1 in 9 of them. Really powerfully received. Titled My NICU Story, Written with Love from the Baby's Perspective. So she's sharing from the perspective of one of our little ones in the NICU. She is also certified in neonatal touch and massage and TMC, and has a passion for football, writing, and making the world a better place. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the powerful and dynamic Tiffani Jean Freckleton. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. It's such an honor to be talking with you today.
You're so welcome. I'm thrilled to have you joining us today. And I just wanted to touch in on why. Why this book? And why did you feel it was important to bring it forward? I always think it's so interesting to discover that.
It's something I've always had a passion for books and for reading, and I think deep down it's something I've always wanted to create and be a part of. I started in the NICU March of 2020, and needless to say, it's been a challenging time in healthcare, especially. Yeah. I watched parents. We had a lot of visiting restrictions, and so people were there alone. Even parents or my own brother had a baby in the NICU during that time, not in my hospital. I wasn't able to go visit them, and I would think about them every day while I would take care of these other babies. And my boyfriend is a singer-songwriter, and so we're always kind of making up songs and rhymes. And I started talking to the babies like that. I started just talking to them in a kind of soft, lyrical way, and it became easier to, talk to them and to, calm them sometimes, and it just kind of led from there.
I love that. And just, taking all of our listeners back to March 2020, that's when the pandemic became official, and the restrictions and just all around the world trying to navigate those waters. And then you were here in the NICU and on the front lines with those families and those babies. And I love that you found a way to share and to connect and to harness some of that beautiful gifting that you have with words and lyrics, and to really share that in such a beautiful way. I just think that's such a positive, powerful thing that you were able to bring into a challenging time. And it sounds like for you, that was powerful for you as well, that connecting. Anything you would add to that?
It was. It was definitely unexpected. I had made the decision to change my career path. Mm-hmm. I've been a nurse for a long time. I've worked with adults in intensive care. And I felt really guilty leaving that world and coming into such a different phase of medicine. And it's just such a special place. There's so much love that exists in the NICU. It's hard not to get caught up in those good moments.
I love that. And really standing with those families, and such it can be such a difficult, trying time. And to really stand there with them in such a loving place and create that oasis, in a sense, for those families and their babies, I just think is really, really neat. And on top of that, as you were creating this way of speaking to the babies, you had a story birth within you. So do you mind sharing a little bit about the story, the book that you were led to create and bring forward?
Yeah, it all comes back to my nephews. I love being an aunt. It's like my favorite thing about myself. My little nephews, and now I have 7 nephews and 1 niece, and I think about them every day, and it's really fun to think about things from their perspective. And I will watch my brothers and my sister-in-laws go through things, and sometimes you just see this sweet, innocent baby, and you just feel that love. And I started, talking to them and writing these things down, and I felt like this is actually really a special way to think about them, and to, kind of distract you from some of the other things going on.
Beautiful. And I love this. And this led to you creating a book called My NICU Story, Written with Love, that was released out so powerfully in the world. And I know one of the things that was important to you as you were creating it was that there was a softness to it, that there was a warmth to it, and that you had a vision of how this book could serve both the babies and their families. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Of course. it's so special to see, you're privileged to, I came up with a phrase when I was writing it that I just fell in love with. And I like to say that I'm inspired by the NICU from behind the scenes, in the sense that, I'm honored to be a part of all of these stories. And they will say in the NICU that every baby writes its own story because it's such a unique, different experience. I know personally in our family, all 4 of my nephews that have been in a NICU have been there for different reasons, and no experience has been the same. And yet there's some similar things they go through. And so I wanted to, honor the differences that people go through and not get caught up in it being the same. And I've been privileged to just see some really special moments and things that have happened. And it's just, I feel so honored to be a part of their stories and to get to know all of these special families and moments. And I'm appreciative of all the nurses who have helped my own family and helped them, because I wasn't there to help them. And so it's such a privilege to try to do for someone what another nurse has done for our family.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing. I so appreciate it. We are getting ready to go to our first commercial break. And as we do that, listeners, I want you to think about what Tiffani has shared. Is there something that has inspired you, that has touched your heart, that maybe sings to your heart, or a way maybe as you were navigating through the pandemic that you discovered or you learned, or was something that spoke to you in a special way that this is reminding you of, or perhaps you've had a NICU story in your own family. So just take a moment and kind of feel in, see what's speaking to you, and we will continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Explore the poetry of Sam Yao. His book of poems, Soul's Journey, is a #1 international bestseller. Sam is a contemporary poet with a unique and highly relatable poetic style to convey the essence of spiritual truths for our time. Readers will find beauty, inspiration, and healing in his words. Get his book, Soul's Journey, today on Amazon.com or visit samyaupoetry.com. That's Sam, Y-A-U, poetry.com.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes, that opportunity to really just be still, to listen, to see what's percolating, what's coming up as you reflect on some of what Tiffani has shared with us so far, what's speaking to you. And she and I were talking a little bit behind the scenes about her book. I'd had the opportunity to get an advance copy and fell in love with her story, her book, what she is doing with it, and the feel of it, and the emotions that it brought forward in me. It just it's a little book, but it's a very powerful book and a very deep book that I just was privileged to read and be impacted by. And so I'm really excited to have her on the show today sharing with us. And one of the things that I think is really special about her book is she was very clear, and this is great for those authors out there, really clear on some ways that this book could help the families and the babies. With her background, her experience, her expertise, she brought that into how she put the book together and the ways that it can really serve and be used. And so with that, I just wanted you to share a little bit about that, some of your vision of how families can use this book to really connect with their little one and their little one with them.
Yeah, this year I had this really special experience to become certified in neonatal touch and massage, and it was such an amazing experience to go through the classes and to learn from people who've been doing these things for much longer than I have. And one thing that they talked about is how every care, every touch, every input you do has an impact on this developing brain of the baby that you are caring for. And it was so special to think about that and to realize how important the hearing is to their development. And I think in medicine, often you feel very powerless about things, but this is one thing we can do. We can talk to the babies, and they know their parents' voice. They recognize it. I have seen so many special things that babies will turn their head, and even to recognize my own voice after caring for them for months. It's been a special experience. And so my hope is that parents could take a moment and just read the book to their babies and to feel that quiet love that's coming, and to just breathe and to read a little moment that is maybe the baby telling them that, you know, it's okay, you're doing enough, and I'm growing, and you're helping me by reading to me. You're actually helping me grow and become stronger. And so that's kind of my wish, and I think that stems from the fact that I love books. And so even just encouraging reading in the NICU in general is just a special thing to do.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. And I love that when we can sometimes feel powerless or like we can't do something, how powerful it is that we can. And that our voice and our sharing and our energy and our intention in that way can make a difference and help those that we are connecting with. So I think that's an important reminder to us all. And I love that that was part of the vision of your book, that it's something that can be read and shared with that little one. Sometimes I think we don't even know the words. You know, we're so filled with emotion. And the moment we don't know how to say, and what a gift it is to have words that we can use, something that rhythm, that beat that can kind of help us as we're connecting in with our little ones. So anything you would add to that?
Yeah, Amy, I remember just sitting there with the baby one day, and it's funny because you kind of are talking to yourself, and you don't always know what to say. And they look at you with these big eyes, and you kind of, you know, you want to talk to them, and you want to help and give them encouragement, but sometimes you don't know the words. And it was fun to come up with them and be silly. And some of it that didn't go into the book is because it was kind of more silly phrases that it's still fun to use when I take care of them.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, beautiful. And I love this, thinking about bringing in all of your different skills and talents when you're putting together a book to share in the world. And I love that you added in just those different textures, and even the cover and the images that you've used in the book. There's a softness to them. There is a connectiveness in them. So I don't know if you want to talk all about the illustrations or the drawings or the cover.
Oh, the things I can overthink. I think anybody who has, what I've learned through this experience of writing and creating is it is so vulnerable, and it's so hard to share these little parts of yourself, and you want to do it in a way that feels genuine. I wanted to bring in the soft colors of the cover that, you know, a lot of people go through the term rainbow baby. If you've lost a baby, you've had a miscarriage, and a lot of times you go through that, and there's this the rainbow is such a clear vision of hope and goodness, and I wanted to bring in some soft colors and a soft feeling with the cover that could make you feel that hope and that signs of, after the rain there's a rainbow, after tears there's moments of reflection. And yet I also struggled because the NICU experience is so different for everyone. I didn't want to have to tell someone how to feel or bring in my own experiences. And so I found a way to kind of bring in the little touch of an illustration here and there throughout the book that, that could let people create their own story and see their own vision as they read, knowing it was so different for everyone.
Yep. I love that. And I love that you are so sensitive to that, because it can be just such a different journey for everyone. But I found that with all that was expressed in the book, there was just this great love that is woven throughout, and hope and encouragement, and that message, you are doing enough, and this is a great place to be, and that continual message of love. And you even have that, like a painted heart on the cover that's kind of holding everything together. I love the warmth, the care that is echoed throughout. And you even have a personal note from yourself and a share out of your nephews and one niece in it as well. And I'd love for you to, if you don't mind, just read that letter from your heart to the reader.
Oh, yes. Note. And thank you so much for all of your encouragement. I didn't expect it to come together like this, and yet as I did the book, I wanted to end it with a note from myself and not just the baby. And so my final thought: I'm just a nurse in the NICU. This is my story from me to you. The NICU is a special place to be, and sometimes it's even scary for me. I'm trying my best to do enough. I had no idea it would be so tough. I want so much to ease your fears. I see your worry. My eyes fill with tears. Your baby is loved more than you know. I got your back after you go. Oh, I love their stories, and I know their names. I promise you, no baby's the same. It's an honor to care for your babe, helping you find the good in each day. Now there's only one thing left to do. From my heart to yours, thank you for allowing me to be part of your story.
Beautiful. Thank you. Listeners, I hope you feel that love, that deep care. Enjoy the lyrics, the lyrical sound to her message. And that's the depth that you will find in this book, and the connectiveness that it brings as you read it and enjoy it and lean in. So it's just such a powerful book. That's just the piece. That's just a message from Tiffani's heart to yours, and to those who lean in and share this book and add it to their library. So I appreciate you sharing that, giving us a little bit of a sample, and it's beautiful to hear and see and feel your heart in this project that you've been called to bring forward and share. And I also love how you were sharing about some of the learning that you had on the journey as you were bringing your book forward, and some of the things that you discovered. And I'd love for you to share some of that for any of those listeners out there that are looking to write, to bring their book forward. Any tips, anything that surprised you, anything you're like, oh, I didn't know this, or wow, now that I know, or anything like that you want to share, it'd be wonderful to bring that forward.
There is so much I am learning throughout this. It is definitely a new experience, and things that I couldn't predict. I think the more I learn, the more I realize that everybody's learning. I've gone to some writers' retreats and some classes that I go, wait a minute, they're still just trying to figure this out too. And I love knowing that, like, I've bonded with people who are writing, and I've met the most amazing people along this journey. And I definitely struggle with technology a little bit. And I want to share the thing that makes me laugh the most is I was getting my book ready for the beta readers, and I was really nervous about it because I hadn't really shared this with very many people. Not many people knew I was doing this. And so I just took a deep breath in, and I went ahead and hit send, and I typed in the next email address, and I hit send, and I was so grateful for them to take the time to read my book. And about the third email I sent, I all of a sudden went, oh, I forgot to attach my book. I didn't even think about it. It was so funny that I just started laughing, and I realized, well, that's just the perfect way to go about doing this journey, is to keep doing things the wrong way, and then you learn more from doing it that way. So I had to hurry and send out a couple of new emails. Oops, my bad. This time, here's the book to read. It still makes me laugh to remember those moments of where I didn't do it right. I didn't know what I was doing, and it makes me smile to have all of these little flaws or journeys, of things to laugh about. It made me feel less nervous, and instead of worrying about what they would say, it just made me laugh that I had done something like that.
Well, I love that. I love that you found the joy even in that thing that could have been stressful. Instead, it was exactly almost like served you so beautifully in having that moment to laugh, to release some of that stress, to be human with each other, and then to share the gift of your book with them. I love that. And then I'm curious, as you started to get reviews back from them, as your book went out into the world and was received so powerfully, so quickly, #1 international bestseller, 29 categories, best-selling status in, 9 of them ranking #1, just huge success very, very quickly. I'd love to know what some of that felt like, if there were surprises from getting the reviews to having it received that way in its launch.
You know, it's so hard for me to actually get attention. I do prefer that being in the background, you know, and it was so scary to put out those words and to have people kind of know that part of me. And yet it was so special to have people share with me how it touched them, and that they shared with me how it made them feel. And I was so honored that it meant something to them, because it was hard to, you know, share myself and to be in the attention. And it was so special to let my brother and my sister-in-laws read the words, knowing that their children, and they helped inspire that in others, and to share that with others. It's been special to allow myself to be shared, like to share parts of myself, because it's not easy for me to do that. So it's meant a lot that I've had so much support and through my friends, and that I've made these friendships, especially with some of these moms that I've gotten to know, and parents that it's so fun to be able to share with them, and to know that they've helped me, and I just wanted to do a little something for them as well.
Beautiful. Well, I love it. And I love that you were willing to be seen on that level, because it is vulnerable when you're sharing something that's so personal and important to you and means so much, to kind of trust the world with it and open your heart in that way, you know, and share. And you did that. And I love how courageous you were in that, and how the ripple is just beginning of lives and hearts touched, and how amazing it is and it feels as you get those touch points. People reach out and let you know how they've been impacted or encouraged. And I just want to encourage any listener out there to know that it is worth sharing and bringing it forward. It does make a difference. And I don't know if you would add anything to that, Tiffani, anything coming to your heart and mind.
I mean, you are giving the best advice. I didn't expect it to be so vulnerable. But the more of myself that I was willing to share and to put into it, the more it also helped me go through with the things I was going through. And writing can be a very healing process. And the more that I shared and was vulnerable, it actually made me feel stronger in the end to be able to, share those parts of myself.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. Beautiful. Well, we are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And as we do that, listeners, think about what Tiffani has shared. Think about what's speaking to your heart. If you had a note that you wanted to share with the world, something you wanted them to just know from your heart to theirs, what might be included in it? Take a couple moments. We'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. That's EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Explore the poetry of Sam Yao. His book of poems, Soul's Journey, is a #1 international bestseller. Sam is a contemporary poet with a unique and highly relatable poetic style to convey the essence of spiritual truths for our time. Readers will find beauty, inspiration, and healing in his words. Get his book, Soul's Journey, today on Amazon.com or visit SamYaoPoetry.com. That's Sam, Y-A-U, Poetry.com.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes. I'm curious when you leaned in to see what would my message be? What would your message be from your heart to the world if you could share a message out? What do you want the world to know? What's on your heart? I think that's so important and powerful to share when you have an opportunity, whether it's on stage or it's sharing with a friend or it's in a book format. When we have that opportunity to share what matters to us, what it's really important that the world knows, I think it's important we lean in and do that and find a way to share that. So I love that Tiffani included that personal note from her to the reader and shared her heart in such a beautiful, powerful way, along with her amazing words and book. And we've been talking so much about her book. I thought, wouldn't it be great if we let you know where to get her book if you were so inclined and wanted to lean in? And I encourage you to. It's a really beautiful, powerful book. So with that, I'd love for you to share, Tiffani, what's the best way? So give them the full title of your book, where they can find it, and what is the best way for them to connect in with you and go deeper.
My book is My NICU Story, Written with Love. It is currently available on Amazon. I hope someday it will be in hospital gift shops and stores throughout, but right now it is currently there because I'm learning how to do all of these things. I kind of focus on my Instagram account. I created an Instagram account to help. I have my own personal account, but then I have an account to help with the process of the things I'm doing, continuing to do with my NICU story that is inspired by NICU. And then, of course, I created a Bookstagram account just because I want to share about all things reading. And so I have an account that is about my books and my own reviews and things like that, that is Bookstagram and read, that I just have a lot of fun with.
I love it. I love it. And the other thing that I love is you have your book in multiple formats. So it's in Kindle. The print book's just about to come out or might be out. We're doing a pre-record, so that's the path. It's just around the corner. Excited about that. And then you're also creating a journal, a companion that goes with this book. So do you mind taking a moment to share about that?
Yeah, I'm really excited to be working on the second part of this because of the fact that, you know, every experience is so unique and personal. As I wanted to give parents and readers a way to personalize that story and to, you know, as you're going through something, you go, and you don't realize what you're going through sometimes until you're forced to settle and to look at it. And so I'm creating a companion where you'll be able to actually personalize your own baby's story and put in some pictures and write in some notes and about the things that you've learned along the way. And, you know, you meet people that you never expected to meet, and you go through things, and they're special. And I want to focus on the special moments. You know, most people, when they have a baby, they go home and life continues. And in the NICU, you're paused, and you have to wait until life begins again in a way. And you're forced to just sometimes sit and just hold your baby. And what a blessing, you know, that you can sit there and you never would. You have to put down your phone and your distractions, and you just breathe, and you're just there, which I love. I love the way we start the show with breathing, because sometimes that is just the most important thing. And so I wanted to also give them a way to reflect on those moments and to remember, as hard as they are, there's so much good that's happening.
I love it. And so this companion book or journal will help them capture some of that and create their own story, which I love.
Yes, and, you know, like, I have created photo books for my nephews, and it is so fun to read them to them and to show them those photos of them as babies, and especially, like, look how strong you were. You know, we love to tell them about these little moments. And so I wanted it to be something that the baby, you know, as they grow into a child, that they could look back and reflect on these little warriors and how strong they are and feisty. You know, most NICU babies get a reputation for being sassy, and it's fun to, like, be able to share that moment and, you know, like, hey, nurse, I'm going to mess with you. And, you know, it's fun for them to, like, hear about it, because their little personalities are so strong. It's amazing that they are just them, and even if they're early or whatever they're going through, you get to know these little personalities, and I wanted them to be able to see that growing up and to know, like, their story, and to be like, yeah, I was a NICU baby and I'm a fighter. So my hope is that they can, you know, document that, and the babies can honor that they came into the world as fighters and warriors.
I love that. And then they have the story of them, which is so powerful to carry forward.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. I so appreciate it. I'm excited about the journal coming out, and all the support and beautiful experiences that people will get to lean into, adding that into their family and into their life. So I'm very excited about that. And I know the writing bug continues. That's one thing I've noticed in working with so many authors. Once they start on the journey and they take the steps, there's so much that starts to bubble up and wants to come forward. So I'm curious if the writing bug has touched you, and if so, what is that like? What are you seeing?
It has, which I never expected. And all the times I love reading, I never expected to want to be a writer. And I've sat back and reflected on how I've gotten here. And it has made me want to share that story. The support I've gotten from my friends and my loved ones when I told them I wrote a book, I think they thought it would be my story. And I thought that maybe I should write about some of those things. And maybe it's a little bit more about why I've taken this path that I could share, that it's not just about my nephews, that there's things I've gone through that have helped lead me to wanting to do this. I also am honored to be a part of a powerful book coming out that is Letters to a Future Nurse, where multiple nurses have come together I've written a chapter, and it's in hopes to kind of instill hope and confidence in this next generation of nursing, and hoping to help them, think about why they do what they do. And it's been so amazing to start sharing that and to think about my reasons why, and they help me. That's the only reason you can get up and do what you do, is when you remember why you do it. And so it's been really fun trying to learn how to write, and it's a new thing. It's a work in progress. I have to be kind to myself and to, realize that it takes time and patience. And luckily, my boyfriend is an amazing little editor, which I did not know. And he's been able to sit and help me figure out how to say what I'm trying to say. And I'm really excited to keep moving forward with that.
Beautiful. I love that. When is that book coming out?
They just got it back from editing, and I saw a note on our Facebook group, and it was one of these weird flukes. I just felt like I manifested the opportunity. It came to me. I am so honored. I've read an advanced copy, and all of these different nurses from New Zealand, from all over the world, South Carolina, Michigan, Hawaii, everybody has their own experience. And I think it should be released this fall, before the end of the year, hopefully, that we will be doing that. So
we'll watch, and certainly on Instagram. I know you shared that that's where all things books, you've created a space there.
Yes.
I love all the seeds that are being planted and coming forward, and that you've leaned in and said yes, and are continuing to bring those forward. And I love your appreciation of the journey and kind of learning as you go, and being kind to yourself. I think that's really great advice. We can sometimes expect ourselves to instantly be an expert at something, and it takes time. And that there's a joy in that, and learning and discovering your writer's voice and your messages and what you're called to bring forward, and that there is a lot to share and how much your wisdom matters. So thank you for leaning in, for sharing with us today. I know after a book launch, it's very busy, so I appreciate you carving out time together for us to connect and share. And I'd love for you one more time to share your book title for anyone who would like to add that to their library, and the best social media again to follow you on.
Yes, of course. And thank you so much for your time and for having me and letting me share this experience. Like I said, as flawed as it is, that's been a good experience to learn from. And I appreciate anybody taking the time to listen. My book is My NICU Story, Written with Love. I've created an Instagram account that is at Inspired by NICU to help continue to share the companion journal and the other things I'm working on, and hopefully to highlight other NICU stories and to bring that forth. I have my own personal account, if anybody is interested, is at just_Tiffer. And that's my story. I don't post there a lot, but that's me and who I am. And then I have my Bookstagram and Read, which is where I share the books that I am reading that inspire me and that help me learn and grow.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing and joining us today. I appreciate it. Listeners, I want to thank you for leaning in and joining us. And I had a few gifts I wanted to make available to anyone listening today that is really feeling that call that pull to bring their message forward too. Because believe me, if you have that call, you feel that pull, it's important to step forward now. That's actually a pull of others that need your message, that need it your way, your story, your voice, your way of bringing that forward. They're calling for that. And I want to encourage you on your journey. So the first gift I'd like to make available is called the Emerging Author Series, plural. You can find it at emergingauthorseries.com. And it's a series of 9 different ebooks that talk about how to bring your message forward, what publishing is, myths and truths. I have my idea. Now what? All of how do I structure a book? Like all those things we get asked all the time are in different books, little chapters, and you can download as many as you want. And those are our gifts from our heart to yours to support you on your journey. The second is for those of you who are called to speak your message, to bring it forward. We also have a way we love to help you do that. It's called the Speaker Talent Search. So speakertalentsearch.com. And there is an application process that you go through, but this is part of our give back, helping those voices, those messages get out into the world to reach additional people around the world, because heart by heart, life by life, story by story, page by page, message by message, we make a difference. And that's how we can make the world a better place. So I encourage you to check that out. Those of you who are being called to speak your message, check out speakertalentsearch.com. I hope it supports you on your journey. And remember that each of you, your journey, your story, those lessons, those things you've discovered and learned, that's wisdom. That's insight. That's an expertise. The way you look at the world, the lens that you look through is a powerful perspective and gift that can be brought to the world. So I encourage you to find ways to bring that forward, step by step, chapter by chapter, word by word, conversation by conversation. Be willing to share the messages you've been given. They do make a difference. So keep writing, enjoy your week, and we'll look forward to talking to you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to The Author's Journey. Please join Rebecca Hall Gruyter for another edition of the Author's Journey podcast every Monday on the Voice America Variety Channel. And until we talk again, use some of the tips and inspiration from today's show to guide you as you lean in to bringing your message forward.